Welcome to Astrobabble. I'm Donna from Donna Astrology.
And I'm Lynda from Scallywag Astrology.
And we're talking about the new moon in Aries today. It's happening on April 1st. And it's happening, do you have the degree of when it's happening? It's around 11 degrees?
Yes, 11 degrees Aries and 30 minutes. So yeah.
Great, great.
New moons are about new beginnings. A lot of people like to set intentions at this time. So it's a great time. The moon is dark at this time and it's going to grow. So it's a good time to start on something that you wish to grow and come to fruition at a full moon.
Good time to start things. As with Aries, we just recently did our Aries ingress for the country. So that was on the mundane level. This is going to be more on the personal level. We're going to go with the rising signs. Hopefully you'll know your rising sign. If you don't, we'll be happy to help you out with that. Contact either Lynda or I, and we'll help you get your birth chart. You just need to know your time. And yeah, with the new moon, things are starting up. It's in the northern hemisphere when they usually started to plant and get those kinds of things going. So let's
you've just had your spring equinox up there, so yes, everything's new, and yeah, all the little babies will be born soon, so yeah.
Yes. So this new moon is going to be happening in the first moon mansion. So we can talk about that while you're getting up.
Yeah, tell us all about the moon mansion.
It's good to buy animals. It's good to put them out to pasture. It's good to plant trees. It's not good for relationships and marriage.
Oh.
Yeah. Depending on where the moon. Where is Aries? Yeah, it isn't an Aries sign. That is half the, the infamous couple of Venus and Mars, but it could be probably a little feistier than you would want. It's good also to cut hair, cut your hairs, or cut hairs and nails. So
did you say it is good? It is good to cut hair and nails?
It is good to cut hair and nails for this. So yeah.
Oh, very good.
So starting at April 1st. Yeah.
Okay. And if you can see the screen, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, yeah, we've got the chart here. And at the time, as we said, the sun and moon will be together at 11 degrees Aries. And we've got Mercury at 9 degrees Aries, very close to it. But apart from that, there's not a real lot of close aspects to this new moon. So yeah, I do wonder, because I mean, Aries is a cardinal sign. They like to start things, get very excited about it. And sometimes they have a little bit of trouble, the cardinal signs, with follow through. And Aries is a cardinal sign, so is Libra, so is Cancer, and so is Capricorn. And I can relate to this because I'm an Aries sun myself. So sometimes, yeah, it's like, oh my God, I can do this and I can do that. But, actually, not all those projects might come to fruition. And we've got Mercury, which is thinking and communication. So I think there might be a lot of people around the time of this new moon talking about, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I've got all these plans and that. But it will be interesting to see how much actually gets done.
Right. Yeah. The cardinal signs, there's they are the starters. And if you don't have that starting energy, you don't go anywhere. So we need all of those energies.
We certainly do, because I mean, like, you've got your fixed signs, which are solid and reliable and dependable, and they can just plod. Well, I shouldn't say plod, that sounds negative, but they can just solidly work towards something, but they might not have that initiatory spark to want to start it, and then you've got the mutable signs, which are all very adaptable and kind of moving between both of them. So yeah, but I'll be interested to see. I think there will be a lot of new ideas. There's a lot of excitement. I mean, Aries gets pretty excited pretty easily. Just, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many of these plans come to fruition.
Yeah, well, it is the spring, so there's probably a lot of people have a lot of things that are going. If it's not gardens, it's a chance to work outside. The weather's better, it's nicer. You can get a lot of things done.
Yeah.
That's why they have spring cleaning. My grandmother used to do it all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to do some spring cleaning.
Yeah, we all
even
do.
though it's going into autumn here, so
yeah. I think it has to be done more than spring, but my grandmother used to get like empty out cupboards and closets and just really get a lot done. So
sometimes it just needs doing. Yeah.
So are we ready to start by going through the signs?
I think so, yes. Would you like to start off?
Sure. If you are Aries, this is going to happen in your first house. Lynda, that you would be one of these people. Things might be changing. You might want to do a new hairstyle. This would be a great time to do that. If you wanted to change up anything.
Are you trying to tell me something, Donna?
No, I'm saying that this is it's there if you want to. If you wanted to change.
I know. I'm only teasing.
I know.
And I'm actually a Capricorn ascendant, so yeah.
you're just a sun.
I do need a haircut, but yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Well,
sorry.
I remember the Moon Mansion saying this is a good time to get your haircut, so I thought, oh well, that'll work right on it.
Yeah, because all you Aries ascendants, get out there and get that haircut that you've perhaps been a little bit hesitant about getting. You know, you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if it'll suit me.
Yeah.
You know, go talk to the hairdresser.
Because the first house is all about yourself. So that's how that all would work. Yep. Any starting things, if you were an Aries and you wanted to start even school or education, you could do that. I mean, it's whatever you're doing to just do yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you wanted to change up just yourself.
And if you are a Pisces ascendant, this will be happening in your second house of your income and finances. So you might be starting, a new job. So you've got that new income coming in. You might be doing a bit of a side hustle. Perhaps you're doing, something just a little bit different to earn a bit more income. Could be new investments, or it could be, your possessions. It could be, you're buying something, perhaps you've been, wanting to buy that new item and you finally get around to it. It would usually be, because this is a house of resources, something that helps and supports you. So possibly not just something like clothing or something, but something that's actually helpful for you.
Great. And if you are an Aquarius, this full moon or this new moon is going to be happening in your third house. And that is with your community. If you wanted to start a community project, maybe doing some volunteering in your community, this would be a good time to do that. That would be the energy for, starting those community projects. Or if you wanted to buy a car, that would also be something that a third house signification new moon would help you do.
Yeah. And if you're a Capricorn ascendant like me, it's all about parents and the fourth house, which is parents and your home and your living situation. It's real estate matters. So this could be something that's happening new with your parents themselves rather than you. Or it could be to do with the home. I mean, I was saying just earlier, I need to do spring cleaning. So that's my thing. It's kind of boring, but there you go. But, some people might be investing in real estate, or, you might be doing something new to the house. It could be renovations. I would expect something like that to be more Mars in the fourth. But new moon, new activity around the home and living situation. I mean, it could be somebody new moving in.
And if you are a Sagittarius, this is going to be happening in your 5th house. And this is your house of pleasure and children and things that you would want to start. A trip would be something that you would do for pleasure. Painting, if you wanted to start a paint, you know, arts and crafts, or, you know, anything that would be creative, because this is your house of creativity.
Yeah, great time for creative activities. Yeah. And if you are a Scorpio ascendant, this is happening in your 6th house. This is the house of illness. So it could be, you know, perhaps you've got something that's cropped up and you need to attend to that. It's also the house of our pets. So there might be a new pet coming into your household, or something new happening with that pet. Or it's also how we serve others. So this could be, it could be related to work, co-workers, people that work for you. It could be as simple as having a tradesman come in and do something around the house for you, or it could be, you know, new co-worker, something like that.
Great. And if you are a Libra rising, this new moon is going to be happening in your 7th house. And this would be a great time to start a relationship. Start a relationship that you have been wanting to have. If you've been wanting to have a relationship with your neighbor, then that would be a good, it's the one-on-one kind of relationships. It's not with like everybody. It's, you know, if you wanted to develop a relationship, you know, even a better, you know, a better relationship, if you wanted to start a new stage of your relationship, this would be a good time to do it if you are a Libra rising.
And if you're a Virgo ascendant or rising, this is happening in your 8th house. This is the house of other people's money. It could be new beginnings regarding joint financial investments, or it could be something to do with your partner, because it's the 2nd house from the 7th. It's the partner's money. So your partner might have come into some money or something similar. It is also taxes, it's insurances, it's inheritances, it's loans. So all of those things are something that might be initiated at this time as well.
Yeah, that would be fun to start. And then if you have Leo as your rising sign, this is going to be happening in your 9th house. A good time to start, you know, with that Aries, you know, kind of energy with that with the new moon. It's a good time to start like studies or higher education. That's where all this is coming from. This would also, with the Aries, might be also a good time to start a lawsuit. This would also be reflective in the 9th house, because all of that is, it's going to have that Marsy flavor. So Mars is aggression, but it's also drive. So
yeah, that get up and go. Yeah.
Yep. That'll be in the 9th house.
And if you are a Cancer ascendant or rising, this is happening in your 10th, which is public reputation and career. So you might be starting something that's quite visible, because the 10th house is a very visible house. You might be embarking on something that's quite public in nature, or you might be starting a new job. It's also the house of authorities. So it could also be a new boss, or, some shift in that sort of area.
Oh, you want to, hopefully the boss has not so much Mars in their charts, because Mars can be, it's a malefic, so it can be a little more challenging than normal. But if you have Gemini is your rising, this is going to happen in your 11th house, and this is where your friends and your allies are going to be in. So maybe you have some friends and allies at work who could help you out if you happen to be the last rising sign. But yeah, this is where the new things that would with friends will come up. So if you are planning a party, you know, the warmer weather's coming up, you might want to get some groups together. You could start doing things that would be more group oriented. This is the energy to start that for sure.
Yeah. And if you're a Taurus ascendant or rising, this will be happening in your 12th house. So the 12th house it's a difficult house. It's said to be the house of our undoing. It's also solitude and retreat. It could be something as simple as taking time out to actually recharge your batteries a bit, kind of taking a step back and doing that. But it could have something to do with addictions or places of confinement, such as hospitals or prisons, but hopefully not. It could be just, you know, maybe something that is been going on, like a self-defeating habit or something. Maybe something will happen at this time that maybe will challenge you to try to overcome that. Maybe you'll take your first steps towards, you know, doing something about that.
Hopefully all of these significations will help you navigate through this next month.
Yeah.
Actually the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the 12th house is such a hard house to know what to do with that. And yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah. That we had the nodes. Saturn, we were talking about it earlier with the nodes that are at 23 degrees and Saturn is at 22. It seems to be right there in the middle. That might cause a little bit of more challenge, as it is a square to both of those nodes. It might be a little bit, it might come up in your next 2 weeks, a little bit more structure or a little bit more no.
Yeah.
It's a critical degree or a point. It's actually a point, because those nodes are not anything physical in the sky. Those are just points. So
yeah.
Just
yeah, it'd be good to get past that the bendings of the nodes with Saturn there.
Yes, I would think so.
Yes, bring it on.
As this new moon is going to happen on in the United States, for at least it's April Fool's Day here. So I thought that bringing this crystal, it is a black tourmaline. It is something that you can see the structure, how it grows straight up like that. This is what I use for grounding. You would rarely catch me out of the house without one of these in my pocket. Not this big, but this is a grounding stone. It transmutes negative energy. So if you have the trickster, and I think that Mercury is right with that new moon, so trickster energy is going to be out. So for April Fools, this will take negative energy, it will transmute it and take it right down into the ground. This particular stone also can disperse energy. If you rub it, it has piezoelectricity that it works with, and it also has pyroelectricity, and that's from you can either rub it and it will expel energy, and it will but the function of this particular rock is it takes, and it's totally black. It's like black. It's dark. There's like no color. Tourmaline does come in other colors, but the black one is for the earth chakra. So it's the first chakra. It's really good for transmuting the negative energy. I place these around my house a lot for just to dispel negative energy. That's what this does. And so for April Fools, you might want to have this particular rock by you.
Yeah, well, I never even thought of that. It's just like, yeah, Mercury is a trickster, and right near that new moon on, yeah, so there might be some epic April Fool's pranks this year.
There could be. There could
Very
be.
much so.
We got to have a little bit
And
of
with
fun.
Aries, with Mercury in Aries, it could go a little bit too far.
Yeah, hopefully it won't cause any separation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not maliciously, but just kind of like, because I don't think Aries energy is necessarily malicious, but there's that just, kind of, boisterous. It just gets a bit too far. And
Yep. This stone or this crystal is found in Brazil, Africa, Pakistan, Maine, the state of Maine in the United States.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty common. Yep. And I use this in grounding a lot. If you are up in your head a lot,
Mm-hmm.
it helps you ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I use this stone a lot. It's a great stone. It's one of the first ones I meditated with because it's used so much. I wanted to really make sure what I was working with, and it's a great stone. It's just got that calming energy. It calms your mind. It brings you, more centered to the earth. So yeah.
I remember you talking about, I think it was the onyx stone. You had to be careful not to have too much of it. Do you have to be careful with this one like that?
No, but I wouldn't carry around any black stone for a long time. So, I mean, some people are more sensitive to the black stones, and they just can only have like one. One isn't going to hurt you, and I walk around with it all the time. So it doesn't force you to do it. Keep your word like the onyx. The onyx does.
I just wondered if it was
that's
a
why I
bit
don't want
similar
onyx.
like you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the onyx will nudge you to keep your word.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. The
very
black,
Saturnian.
Yeah, it is very Saturnian. This one is also, but this is a good protection stone, which is good to have.
Yeah, nice to have. Yeah, very good. And do you have an article about that?
I will have an article posted. And I will have a link
and we'll
to
put that in the description. Excellent. Yes. And we're ready to have a look at the other aspects.
Yes. I think April 2nd, we have our first, the sun conjuncts Mercury, which there's that trickster. If he doesn't get you on the
April
1st,
Fool.
he will be out there on the 2nd for sure. He will be, more prominent because the conjunction is a stronger aspect, so you're gonna feel that Mercury energy a lot more. Yeah,
and this is a superior conjunction of Mercury. It's starting a new cycle. It does start its cycles pretty often. There's the inferior, which happens when it's retrograde, and then there's superior conjunction, which this is when it's direct. So it's a new cycle in Aries. So yeah, kind of a lot of excited thinking. We were talking before about how Aries is that initiatory kind of passionate, enthusiastic, kind of gets all revved up about stuff. It's got the drive, it's got the ambition, but sometimes it just lacks that, not persistence, but being able to last the distance.
The stable energy, the stabilizing energy.
Yeah.
And on the 4th, there's Mars with conjuncting Saturn. And that is really good energy if you want to do some. This is where you do have that long-term run out of anything you do start, because that Saturn is going to keep you in line to do all that.
And Saturn's in Aquarius, so it's in a sign that it rules. So Saturn's strong here.
Right.
Mars is, Mars is not the most comfortable here. Mars is all about go, 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 and Saturn is like, slow down.
Stop, stop, stop.
What are you doing? What's the plan?
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be a little bit, it might be a little bit frustrating at this time. As Donna was saying, Saturn is at the bendings of the nodes. It's square the nodes, and with Mars coming up to conjoin or conjunct Saturn, they'll both be at the bendings of the nodes. So this could be a little bit, it could be a bit tense. And people might be unwilling to back down too, because it's Aquarius, it's a fixed sign. Yeah, so you got Saturn, the old guard, and you got Mars, which just wants to push ahead. So
very good point on that fixed energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see that Venus is out from that malefic besiegement it was in. So.
Yeah.
That will be like, whew, that was
a close call.
Not comfortable.
No,
not comfortable.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. So moving on to April 5th, finally Venus will go into Pisces, or will move out of the sign.
There she is. Yeah, in Pisces.
She's now in Pisces. She's exalted in the sign, so she's gonna things will be easier for her. It's almost like rulership. It's only 1 point short of being in her own house. So she knows where all of the utensils are. She can do whatever she wants. She can get in the refrigerator. She can grab a glass. She can grab a towel out of the closet. Maybe even grab the vacuum cleaner. I don't know, but she's feeling very, very nice and benefic. She's going to be doing hopefully some very nicer things.
Yeah, Donna was talking about Venus being like, in a comfortable place, because when we talk about planets being in dignity, it's like they're in their own home. And when we talk about planets being exalted, it's like they're in a very welcoming place. They're kind of an esteemed guest. Whereas if they're in detriment or in fall, it's like they're far from home and just not in a good position. They might not know anybody, and stranger in a strange land type thing sometimes. So yeah, it's a really nice position for Venus. She's not only in her sign of exaltation at the time, she'll be in her triplicity and her term. So like Donna was saying, she's just like, she's just got everything under control. And after escaping from Mars and Saturn, I think she's really going to enjoy herself.
Yeah.
I think perhaps some relationships, probably, because that's the thing when with Capricorn and Aquarius, we've got two signs right next to each other that are both ruled by Saturn. Most of the other planets, they rule two signs, but they're not right next to each other. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio, but you've got a break in between those two Scorpio houses. When a planet's going through, once it enters into Capricorn, it's like got to go through that Saturn dominated Capricorn, and then it's got to go through, the Saturn ruled, Aquarius. So she's finally got through all that, and she's in Pisces, and she's got Neptune there, and Jupiter as well in Pisces. So
yes,
it should be a nice time. And perhaps, like I said, if some relationships have been undergoing some strain or pressure, perhaps this might be a little bit of a relief for them, a little bit more just nicer, not as stressful. I mean, not only was she in Aquarius, she was trapped between the two malefics, Saturn and Mars, at one stage. So yeah.
And like we had the two malefics in one in Aquarius still sitting there. We now have Venus and Jupiter in Pisces, and Jupiter runs Pisces. So Jupiter not only is in a good house, but the ruler's in a happy place. So
yeah.
it should be a lot, hopefully a lot of better news.
And Jupiter's there too, because when we look at a planet, you know, it's in a sign, we say, well, where's the ruler? Can the ruler help it? You know, Jupiter's right in the same house. Yeah, he's in the house, and he's like, yeah, what do you want? How can I help?
Yeah.
So it's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully they can work together and bring some more benefic events to us.
Oh, it would be nice. Yeah. I think we could all use a break.
Yeah. Okay. So on the 7th, we have Mercury is going to be sextiling Saturn. And there we have it. Mercury in Aries and Saturn in Aquarius. Mercury is not, it does not have any essential dignity in Aries. So that doesn't have a lot to do. But if you are looking for strategic thinking, if you're looking to do you know, some conversations of how to go about doing a project, this would be the time. This would be great energy to get that done. When you have to get that mental, that Mercury wants to do that process, that mental process to get those all in a row. Saturn is the one for the rules. So with that sextile, you could get a lot of good ideas to get that foundation really moving along.
Yeah, that we've got Mercury at 22 degrees of Aries and the sun at 17 degrees. So there's 5 degrees between them. So it's a condition where we say it's combust or under the sunbeams. Basically, Mercury is so close to the sun at this time that it kind of overshadows. We don't see Mercury in the sky because, you know, if it's around, when the sun's around, you know, it's just too bright. So Mercury's not in the best condition at the time. You know, it's in a very impulsive, you know, excitable sign. That Saturn's just giving it that little bit of stability. You know, it's like Mercury's like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Saturn's kind of like, well, what's the plan? You know, so. Yeah. And we've got a lot of Mercury. We've got another 2 aspects with Mercury here. So Mercury's going to be very, very big the second week of April. So yeah. Because after sextiling Saturn, Mercury is going to go on and sextile Mars, which is a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yeah, that energy would have, instead of sitting down and strategically talking about the plan, Mars is like, well, let's just grab a hammer and just start nailing the boards together and like build this thing, you know. So
yeah.
But, even though you want to do that, Aries is in Aquarius, the sign of you know, groups and things together. Mercury is still in Aries and is pretty much still under the beams. So it'll be good to start things. It might not have the thought that you thought was in there though.
Yeah. Yeah, Mars actually rules Aries. So we were talking about, you know, if a planet can see its ruler, it's helpful. So we've got Mercury in Aries, which can see Mars. So again, that's helpful. It is its ruler. It's sending a helpful aspect, which is the sextile. But yeah, you know, as Donna says, you know, Mars is like, yeah, well, let's just do it. And, you know, so yeah, I'm thinking of harebrained schemes But you know, that doesn't mean it couldn't be fun. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily that they're completely crazy. Just, yeah, they might not have as much forethought put into them as they might need. You might need to go back and reevaluate some of that a little bit later. But, you know, at least you will have gotten started. So that's something.
Run up to the store and go get nails. That would be what you would expect. If you've got a project that you're doing, it's like, instead of hammering and like, well, we have most of it hammered and we run out of nails. So yeah, that's that's where that would come in.
And oh yes, and then Mercury and Pluto. When's that? That's a few days later. So it's kind of, because Pluto's at 28 Capricorn, and then we're going to have Mercury at 29, 28 Aries. It'll be just about ready, because Mercury is moving super fast at this time. It's moving almost 200% of its usual speed. I think it spends 2.5 weeks, or it might only be just over 2 weeks. It might be something like 15 days in Aries, which usually we would expect about 3 weeks. It's just moving really fast. It's getting ready to move into Taurus, which is very different to Aries. It's a lot more slow moving. But yeah, we've got this square with Pluto first, and squares are tension. Pluto is often associated with transformation. It's said that, you know, it can take small things and make them large, or large things and make them small. It can be intense. It can be very deep. It can be very honest, and that. Yeah, with this being Mercury, this could be a time of really intense communications. It could be intense thinking. It could be even quite transformative thinking. Yeah.
I was just going to say transformative thinking. It could even, with that square aspect, it could be even a conversation that you think you're going to go this way, and then with the Pluto could go totally sideways.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So be careful with that explosive energy. It is very intense, and with the square aspect, it could cause harder challenges than you would think.
Yeah, and of course that Mercury in Aries, it does tend to be a little bit speak first, think later. So, you know, good time to watch your P's and Q's.
Yeah. I think we all learned that lesson with that Venus in between Saturn and Mars.
Yeah.
Just let it ride. Just let it ride. Yeah.
And then so is it the next day? No, it's later that day.
Yeah, Mercury goes into Taurus.
Yeah. This is, we're going from a fire sign to an earth sign. So from that impulsive kind of enthusiastic kind of, you know, energy to this grounded, dependable, reliable energy. And it's a fixed sign. So Mercury in a fixed sign can be quite reluctant to kind of listen to somebody else's opinion.
Yeah.
It can be very determined. Again, good for just moving along steadily, you know.
It can talk your ear off in Taurus, because it's that stabilizing, you know, long-term, ready for a long conversation. But it's also in with Uranus now. So it could have
that
also really that element of moving things a little sideways than you would think. And in the North Node.
Yeah.
So
that would be interesting actually when it catches up to Uranus.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be for sure. But it's I think Mercury is going to be a little happier than not being in Aries. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, the fixed signs can be a little bit yeah, very fixed in their ideas. But you know, sometimes you need to stick to your guns. So
Yep. This is
ah,
keep that process stable, or it would be good to use that to come up with, if you at your job, if you had like a process, like scrape the dishes before you put them in the dishwasher, just whatever you would do to get things done. This would be a good time to iron all that out so that you have that in that stable energy, that idea, that process for that stable energy.
And just generally speaking, at this time, people, your thinking might not seem to be as quick, and you might not pick things up as quickly, when you're learning something new, but it's more likely to be retained. It's that steady, reliable. It's not fast and it's not flashy, but it's consistent, reliable, dependable. And once it's kind of taken on board, it tends to be kept. It's coming down to that fixedness again. So
yeah. And then we have on the 12th, we have Jupiter is going to be conjunct Neptune.
This will be interesting.
This seems like a fun transit. It could be fun as long as you are, remaining safe. This would be overindulging, not knowing your boundaries. So, those would be the things that you would want to watch. As far as on the positive side, Jupiter's a benefic, and we have Neptune is going to be sandwiched in between those, those benefics, hopefully Mars doesn't scoot in there in between. Anyway, but yeah, with the Jupiter and conjuncting Neptune, you could have things that you thought you knew where the boundaries were, but it's really unclear right now.
Neptune can be really idealistic and very altruistic. It can be very giving to others, and this could be really charitable energy, very generous energy. But again, those boundaries can be really easily blurred. Neptune just kind of dissolves stuff. It's hard to see what's happening. And it's all really fantastic, having that idealism and that, wanting to do really inspiring or wonderful things. But, that Jupiter does want to expand, and sometimes it can expand too much. It could be a little bit too much of a good thing. Neptune is often linked to drink and drugs. So this could be a time, if you have a predisposition towards that, perhaps, I don't know whether I would say that would necessarily lead to a bender or a lost weekend, but there's potential there. I mean,
or this can be really good creative energy. I mean, that Neptune, I mean, if you are thinking of writing, or not really writing, would be more of a mercurial thing. But if you had if you wanted to do a painting, this would be a really good energy to do that with that Jupiter and Neptune together.
Yeah, I think it could be a really nice energy for doing stuff for others, for that generosity of spirit, and living up to the highest ideals of both those planets. But yeah. Like anything, they've all got their good and their not so good qualities, just with their blending.
They do, and that's the challenge is to, I mean, you can have really negative energy, but it's the same energy for that positive energy too. You just have to figure out how can I use this energy?
How can I channel it?
To do
constructively,
to do better. Whether it's your own life, or the life of your neighbors as well. And at that same time, we're going to have that Sun sextiling Saturn.
Nice.
That is very stabilizing energy, and it's got a little bit of Mars, flavored in there. So that would definitely give you the drive to do anything that would be stabilizing. Saturn is in its own sign. It's in the sign of the natural sign of groups, of being an Aquarius. So yeah, this is great energy to come up with group projects, and have that stabilizing force.
Yeah. And that sun is exalted in Aries, so
yeah. So you have two planets that are feeling good where they're at.
That might be the saving grace of that. And yeah, I don't know, I'm such a negative Nancy sometimes. It's just Neptune, she can just blur it. I was going to say something about that too. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I've heard some astrologers talk too about, with so much water, and you've got the Jupiter, which can expand, greatly. They're talking about maybe floods and that too in certain places, in
Pisces.
Yeah.
You have Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces.
Yeah. Hopefully maybe with Jupiter being, the greater benefic, perhaps not catastrophic. But yeah, there might be more rain than usual at that time, or water related things in the news, perhaps a greater presence or greater attention on water and water type things.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
And that sun sextile Saturn, like you said, very stabilizing, really good for kind of helping you get grounded and kind of get your act together a bit, just generally speaking.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about Mars catching up and spoiling the party.
Well, Mars has to move along too. I mean, we need that drive in all of our houses and all aspects of our life. So we will have it in Pisces this time. So on the 14th was when Mars moves into Pisces, and it's not with Saturn anymore. So that stabilizing energy is no longer there. The Pisces energy is in there, and you have Jupiter, who can also move that along and help Mars along in whatever Mars is trying to do in Pisces. I think it's really good energy to maybe wrap some things up.
Yeah.
Just because it's in that, that mutable sign.
Yeah, Mars, it's kind of associated with fire, and we've got it in a water sign here, so it's not in its most natural element. And your water signs do tend to be more emotionally based. So to kind of get yourself stirred up and moving, you might need to be emotionally driven, doing something because you have to, or it might bring some reward further down the track, might not be as attractive at this time. It needs to it has to stir the emotions, good or bad, at this time.
Yeah, I don't think really Mars appreciates being in Pisces as much as Venus does.
No, nowhere near. Yeah, they say Mars in water signs is like steam, and I mean steam's pretty deadly. You kind of get yourself with some steam, it can really, really burn.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I think that's everything up until the next full moon, which will be
on the 16th, and it will
be full moon in Libra. That would be nice.
Sounds like a gentle moon.
Well, Venus will still be in the ruler of that full moon will
Pisces.
still be exalted in Pisces, so that will be nice.
That'll be good news. So Venus is going to be running that full moon.
Yeah, and she's kind of in a really good position. Well, she's got Mars there kind of harassing her now, but but she's got some good friends here. She's got people looking out for us.
Venus is a warrior of her own.
She is indeed,
And
indeed.
she's exalted, so Mars
Mm.
very well might not have as much say as he thought he could have.
There's going to be a lot of pouting.
Okay, so Lynda, where can people reach you?
I'm at Scullywag Astrology. That's astrology.scullywag.com. Also on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Pinterest. Yeah, I'm doing readings and yeah, writing articles when I find time. And what about you, Donna?
People can reach me at donnabarrconsulting.com. That's my website. And my email address or my email is donnabarrconsulting@gmail.com. And my Facebook page where the Black Tourmaline blog is going to be on that Facebook page is Donna Barr Consulting. You'll also be able to hopefully book anything with me. Hopefully that's working. So
Somebody
yeah.
try it out. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, so thank you everyone for watching or listening, and please like or share or subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.